class and completing a little assignment that we have. So that's an optional extra credit assignment, but I would encourage all of you to attend next Wednesday's presentation on stress management in entrepreneurship seminars. Also, your final in this class, your final exam, is not actually an exam. It's simply a matter of doing the same thing you've been doing all semester and discussing a presentation, only you'll be discussing all of the presentations. It'll be an opportunity for you to reflect on the things that you've learned. You'll actually be divided into a group on Canvas. So there'll only be about 7 or 8 people in your discussion group, and you'll basically just discuss with those 7 or 8 people. So you'll want to allocate a little bit of time in your schedule. It won't take a lot. You'll just be reflecting on what you've learned, favorite things that you've picked up on this semester, and how you've applied them. That'll be due the week of finals, so you don't have to worry about that quite yet, but it'll be coming up, so I wanted to give you a heads up of that. So I'm going to go from memory here with your introduction, Justin, because I just left the paper down there. But Justin Osmond is our special guest presenter today, and it'll be my opportunity to introduce him. Thank you. Justin is a fellow Badger, so let's hear it for that. He's from here. He loves this area and has lived here much of his life. He was born with a severe hearing loss. He spent, after being diagnosed at the age of 2 with a 90% hearing loss, he spent about 12 years in intensive speech and listening therapy, and he can now speak and hear with passion. And he does that all over. And so you're in for a treat today as you hear a little bit about his life and his experiences. One of the things that he has done throughout his life is started an organization named after his late grandmother, Olive. It's the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund. And his desire is to help everyone, all men, women, and children, all around the world, to be able to hear life and the music of life. Now, you would think that someone with born with the severe hearing loss that Justin experienced would probably not be able to do some of the things as easily in life that you have been able to do. And that would probably be true. He has done it, though. So how many of you are aware of the Sterling Scholar Program? Tough program to compete in. The toughest category? Music. Probably one of the toughest categories. Born with a 90% hearing loss, Justin has excelled in music as well as athletics, as well as the Boy Scouts of America program. He plays the viola, piano, drums, violin, and won the Sterling Scholar competition in that category when he competed. He's a family man, and he resides with his sweetheart, Christy. And in southern Utah, he loves outdoor activities like four-wheeling, boating, camping, and anything else outdoors with his family and friends. He recently published a book titled Hearing with My Heart, and he shares his story with the world in order to help everyone understand the struggles of living with a hearing loss and how to overcome it. Will you all please welcome Mr. Justin Osmond.
All right. You guys hear me okay? All right. Thank you, Alan, for that introduction. I appreciate that. So good to be back home. My stomping grounds of Snow College. I'm a true Badger, just like you guys. Actually, not a true Badger. You guys still do that? You guys still do that? Awesome. Carry on that tradition. I don't know about you guys, but perhaps you guys might feel like a postage stamp, right? You get licked, you get depressed, you get stuck in a corner, and then you get sent from place to place to place to place. But you always succeed and arrive in the right place if you just stick to it. You guys ever feel like that sometimes? Postage stamp? I definitely felt like that. I still feel like that today. Today, I'm going to share some thoughts, some stories, some ideas, on not necessarily what I'm doing right now, but more so on how I got from here to where I am today. And some of the thoughts I'm going to share with you, I'm still learning today. We never stop learning, right? We never stop learning after Snow College. Although I wish I could have stayed here as long as I could, this is one of the turning points in my life. I had some amazing teachers, amazing professors that helped me get to where I am today. So you guys are definitely in the right spot here today. And keep hanging on, keep sticking on to it. Just a quick update. Alan already told you just a little bit about it, but this is my sweetheart. We just adopted 2 little beautiful little babies. And they are the joy and the love of my life. And we live down in St. George. And coming off of Thanksgiving, right? Hope you all gained a couple pounds. So much to be grateful for, you guys. So much to be thankful for. And one of the things I'm really grateful for is the free enterprise that we now live in today, right? And, I mean, the sky's the limit, right? That's why you guys are here, to learn and grow and experience all the opportunities that are at your fingertips, right? And the one thing, when I was in your shoes, is trying to figure out our purpose, our gifts, our talents, our skill sets that you all have. I know everybody here in this room has a gift that you can go out and make a mark in this world, make a difference in this world. And for me, when I was at Snow College, I came across a very powerful, inspirational quote by Pablo Picasso, and he says this: "The meaning of life is to find your gift, but the purpose of life is to share it." Isn't that interesting? We all have something here that we can share with each other to strengthen each other and build each other up and to take each other up to a higher level than what we can do by ourselves. And so with that, I learned the effective way to learn is, yes, going to school and learn everything you can out of textbooks. But the other thing I learned is to find good mentors that are experienced in your area of interest. Whatever your area of interest is, find mentors, or in other words, entrepreneurs that are experienced in your area of your interest. And that's what I did. I started rubbing shoulders with a lot of famous, successful businessmen. And even though I was a little shy at times, I was voted the shyest kid in high school my junior year. That's not a cool title to have in high school. But I had to get out of it. I was eager to learn. And it's okay when you meet these really successful people, it's okay to stroke their ego a little bit. Let them know how awesome they are, how successful they are. And they like that. And when they like that, they're willing to help you, feed you. And as you can see here, Snow College is on the right, and I was the one on the left. And Snow College was a great mentor for me at a young age. They fed me, they taught me. I wish that they had entrepreneurial seminars when I was here in 1998. And you're so lucky that they have this today. Take it in, digest it, take in everything you can. And the one thing that I've noticed when I hang out with all these entrepreneurs, and I'll share some of them with you today, is they all had a common thread. They all had a similar thread that they all shared in common. And let me share a couple of those with you. They were never afraid to make mistakes. And we all know that, right? They make risks. But not just that, they were not afraid to admit that they've made mistakes. And I love this because, you know, they always say, I'm weak, I've been stupid, I've made a lot of foolish mistakes, I made a lot of dumb decisions. But because of all that, I'm wiser, I'm fearless, and I'm better and I'm stronger because of all those mistakes that I've made, right? They say that to me all the time. Another one, I love this. You want to find a mentor that is not afraid to put you in your place, right? You know, when you say, hey, I got this great idea, I'm going to go from here to here, right? They're just going to laugh at you and say, it's not as simple as it looks. For example, I ran, a couple years ago, I ran from right here in Snow College. I ran from here all the way down to St. George, 250 miles. That's about 40 miles a day in 7 days. And I thought it was going to be, I was the guy on the top. That's my plan. From here to St. George, it's all downhill. Piece of cake. Really? I don't think so. I had some great mentors. My wife was one of them. And she told me the reality of it is going to look like this. You're going to fall, you're going to fail, you're going to make mistakes. But the key is to get back in the saddle once you get back up, right? Another one, I love this one. They always say, I don't ever make the same mistake twice. I do it 3 or 4 or 5 times just to make sure, right? That's what you guys do as entrepreneurs. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. This is the paradigm thinking of a true entrepreneur. And I love this one. Losers quit when they make a mistake. And I've made that same mistake. I started a business, and I made a mistake, and it failed. It didn't work out. But the true entrepreneurs are the ones, when they make that mistake, they say, okay, I'll keep trying again and again and again until they succeed, right? So take out winners and put entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs fail until they find a success formula or a model, whatever that is, right? That's who you guys are. We're here to figure out how we can succeed. One of those guys that was one of my greatest mentors growing up, he was a Wyoming cowboy. And it so happened to be my grandpa. He was a Wyoming cowboy. And he instilled in our whole family, it's our family motto now, that we're going to keep doing it until we get it right. Now, just out of curiosity, I know you guys are more of a younger generation, but who remembers the Osmond? Donnie and Marie, those guys. Okay, a few hands, that's cool. That's my family. Anyway, this is kind of the untold story that helped shape some of the music industry and to what our family is today. And another question I got to ask, who remembers the Lawrence Welk Show? Yeah? Okay. Travis in the back, you know, some of you guys remember. That's equivalent to like the Jay Leno show of today. This was back in the late 60s, early 70s. It was the main show on ABC at that time. Well, when my dad was only, I think, 8 years old, they had a chance to do an audition on the Lawrence Welk Show. This was going to be their big break. This is going to be their big opportunity to be able to get out there and do what they love to do. They're so passionate about their gift, right? So they were up in Ogden, Utah. They get in their old station wagon, and there were just 4 of them, my dad and my uncles, and my grandpa drove them, how many miles are from here to Los Angeles? Over 500 miles, easy. They get there, right? And they're so excited. And all of a sudden, they get a call from Lawrence Welk himself saying, I hope you guys haven't left Utah yet. We just unfortunately don't have any more room on the show. So the Lawrence Welk Show for you guys to be on the show. You can just imagine how heartbroken they were. They've been practicing so hard day in and day out to do this big audition on ABC at the time. Prime time television. So, going back to my grandpa, the Wyoming cowboy, he was one of the most optimistic men I've ever met. And he could have easily, what would you have done? You get back in the station wagon, just drive all the way back home to Utah? He decided to take him with what little money they had. They were very poor. They lived on a small little farm up in Ogden, Utah. They went to Disneyland, right? The happiest place on earth, right? All of you guys have been there. And you need to realize, my dad and my uncles at the time, they were a barbershop quartet. And while they were on campus, for those of you who've been there, you'll see the Dapper Dan. It's a barbershop quartet that sings. And it's custom in our family that we all wear the same outfit, the same clothes. But the second generation have kind of broken that tradition. We don't do that anymore. But it's a true story. They were watching the Dapper Dans, who happened to be their mentor. They loved the Dapper Dans. They wanted to be like them. And so as they're watching them on stage, the Dapper Dans kept looking into the audience, and they see 4 little boys, ages 8 to 12. And they, hey, you guys look like us. You guys sing or dance? Like, yeah, we're like you guys. We're a barbershop quartet. They invited them up on stage, and they sang a song, and one song led to the next, and guess who happened to be in the audience watching? Walt Disney himself. Walt Disney invited my dad, who was 8 years old, into his office with my uncle, and he talked to them and said, hey, sing me some more songs, sing me some more songs. And that is where our family gets our big break. And so that's Walt Disney right there, talking to my dad. That's an old photo. But what would have happened had my grandpa said, all right, kids, get back in the car, we're driving home. We failed, we made a mistake, we wasted all this money, going all the way to here to California to get back to Utah, we're not meant to be here. But no, he had this optimistic attitude, like we all do as entrepreneurs, that when something doesn't quite happen the way we want it, or the way we plan it to be, When one door closes, another door opens. Isn't that amazing? And because of Walt Disney, we thank him for giving our family our big break. And he always says if we have the courage to pursue whatever your dreams are, you'll get it. Even if you have to try over and over and over again. And so this is the Osmond family. You might have heard of John and Marie, who's now generated over 100 million records worldwide, thanks to Walt Disney, who happened to be another mentor for our family. But again, it all boils back, what would have happened on that bad thing that happened that we had not kept going, not given up, right? There's a lot of other wonderful mentors that I've been able to work with. Remember I was telling you earlier how it's okay to stroke their ego a little bit? I had the chance and opportunity to meet with a lot of wonderful celebrities who aren't just movie actors, but they're also great businessmen. They're smart. Like Kevin Costner, Dick Van Dyke, Buzz Aldrin, the first guy on the moon, Billy Crystal. All these guys are entrepreneurs just like you. They took a lot of risks. They've shared stories with me about how they've gone bankrupt and how they've lost money. But they keep going, right? Probably the wealthiest guy on this planet, Warren Buffett. I was talking to him one day, and I wasn't afraid to ask him all these questions. So how did you get to where you are today? And we became good friends. And at the very end of our conversation, he pulled out his wallet. Remember, he's the wealthiest guy on this planet, and he let me hold his wallet. I don't know why he did that other than it's kind of cool. I got to hold Warren Buffett's wallet, right? And anyway, great mentors. The more you can surround yourself with mentors that will help you. They will help you. Just express your interest in them. Another one, I don't know if you guys know this. This guy is, he won Dancing with the Stars. I think it was last year. And I always wanted to meet him because he and I have a lot in common. And that is we share a profound hearing loss. He's the first man to win Dancing with the Stars that has a profound hearing loss. And again, I talked to him. I said, how did you do it? How did you go from here to here? And he was so inspirational to me. And that motivated me, and it got me going to where I wanted to eventually be. You guys know who this is? He's the Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk, the very first one before all the animated ones come out. He and I have a lot in common. You know why? Not only do we both have big muscles. No, I wish. But he too has a profound hearing loss, just like me. I chose him as one of my mentors because I wanted to see how he did it. He got bullied during school, and he went through a lot of horrible things in his childhood, but he's a very successful businessman because he did not let his feelings get him down. So my point is, find mentors or find other entrepreneurs that share that same interest or same hobbies or that same passion that you guys have. This is one of my favorite mentors as a little kid. He doesn't say much. He doesn't talk much, as you guys know. But his actions speak so much. And why is that? And one thing I'm jealous about him is he knows exactly what he wants. It's that acorn. Have you noticed in Ice Age, what are we, Ice Age 7, 8? Right? He's still going after that acorn, right? He would put his life on the line. He spills his blood and sweat and tears, and he'll do whatever it takes to get that acorn. So the question is for you guys, is what are your acorns? What is it that you love so much that you will do whatever it takes to get that, right? Even if it means putting your life on the line. One of my greatest mentors of all time were my parents, and I love them so much. I think they're watching me on live show TV right now. But they truly have taught me so much growing up. One of the things they taught me was mental toughness, never give up. They taught me about tenacity, determination, endurance, and to be patient, so many other things. But really more than anything else is to believe in yourself. I have very low self-esteem. Have you noticed my accent different? I have a deaf accent. And I'll talk to you about that in just a second. But more than anything, you're amazing just the way you are. I remember growing up, my dad is the lead singer of the Osmonds, right? He produced the Donnie and Marie show. He produced Ronald Reagan's inaugural. He's a very inspiring man to me. I've always wanted to have that golden throat like my dad. Right? I wish I could sing like him. I remember wishing I could sing like Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber. But then I got thinking one day, why do I want to sound like Justin Bieber or Justin Timberlake? I want to sound like Justin Osmond. That's me. That's my brand. That makes me who I am. I don't have to try to become like someone else. And once I accepted that, I was so much happier with myself. And I know the same can apply for you. Going after your dreams instead of following someone else's dream. When I was a young boy, I'm sure many of you know this story, my parents always read to me every single night, almost every single night. And I got so tired of it. But I didn't realize until I was older. I realized why. The whole mentality that they wanted to instill into me. They knew that when I got older, that I would have mountains to climb. We all do, right? They knew that I would have challenges, and I need to get into that I think I can, I think I can. In fact, I know I can mentality, that when we face those mountains, we can do that. They also knew that when I make a decision, when I'm going to college, that I would be confused. I would be so, like, where in the heck am I? Do you guys ever feel like that sometimes? Yeah? Trying to make decisions for your career, for your profession, what your degree may be. Right? We feel like this sometimes. But what they really taught me was when I was in a situation like this, I would always want to go into my comfort zone. In other words, I would turn my hearing aids off, and I'm like in this nice, quiet world. I don't have to hear anything. It's so nice. Trust me. It really is. When my babies are crying, boom, turn them off. Or when my wife is yelling at me, boom, don't do that. But what happens when we get out of our comfort zone? That's where the magic happens. So, I know it's hard, I know it's tough, but when we get out of that comfort zone, when we go to school, get up early, have to go to your classes, it will be the best investment you will ever make, I guarantee you. And when that magic happens, this is what it looks like. We have a better sense of direction. We feel better about ourselves. Even after we've made mistakes. I had to change my major 2 times to finally figure out what I wanted in life, right? But I'm so glad I did that. I'm a lot happier where I am at today because of the mistakes and the failures that I went through. I feel a little bit more like this, but I'm still learning every day. We all are, right? So the question is, what motivates you to get out of your comfort zone? What motivates you to get out there? And one of the things that helped me was, again, talking to all these successful entrepreneurs, people that have inspired me. And the more I talk to them and hang out with them, and I don't really like to hang out with entrepreneurs that have a really big head, that think they have it all figured out. Because at the moment you think you have it figured out is the moment you stop your progression. I truly, personally believe that. But hanging out with these guys, over the years, I've written down some of the quotes that they've shared with me. And so with that, and that motivates me, as I read these little quotes, it keeps me going. It keeps me going after what I really want to go after. One guy in particular always said, explore the possibilities, the jungle awaits. I love that. And deep down inside, I've always wanted to travel. I love travel. And so I did. I wanted to go explore the jungle. So I did. I've been all through South America, went down on the Amazon, I went down the Nile River here in Egypt, and I wanted to ride a camel around the pyramid. What's stopping you? Another quote the guy would always say, and I'm sure you've heard this quite a bit too, life is short, play hard. Right? Yeah, you got to work hard. Absolutely. That's definitely in the equation. But if you work hard, but make room to play hard, because life is short, you guys. You gotta enjoy life a little bit. Enjoy your journey while you're here. And so I went over to India and rode a little elephant. It was a lot of fun. I took my wife, and I told you earlier on, my wife was a great mentor. I love her so much. She would say, live what you love. What do you love? What's your acorn? Right? Going back to the acorn. What do you love so much? And whatever that is, live it. Again, what's stopping you? Go after it. And so I was able to take my wife. There was a guy, a great mentor, that said, Justin, die with memories, not dreams. Dreams aren't reality yet, anyway, but they can become memories. And so I did. I went to South Africa, off the Cape Town, and I decided to go swimming with the great white sharks. I'm not talking the little baby sharks, I'm talking about Jaws. Seriously, they are big as they look like in the movies. And it was one of the most scariest experiences of my life, but one of the most adrenaline rushes I've ever been through, but one of the most majestic things I've ever been through. And here's a real picture right here. I was in the cage, and I was so scared, I basically crapped my pants. And the jaws are coming right in, and I'm so scared I can't even hold the camera straight. And that was the clearest photo I could get. They were coming right around the corner. But live what you love, right? And do it to get memories, not dreams. So I thought that was a great quote by a great mentor. I wanted to keep traveling, and I got to go to Mount Everest. I cheated. I didn't climb it. I took a helicopter, and I made it almost to base camp. I went to Rwanda, and I hung out with the silverback gorillas, Taj Mahal in India, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. In other words, you do have to take risks, right? If you want to explore more opportunity, you have to take those risks. I wanted to be part of the 50 club, and visit all 50 states. So I did. Who is there to stop me? I've had so many people tell me I can't play the violin or the viola or the drums or the piano. Why? Because my ears are broken. It's true, but why would that stop me? I learned to play the violin not by hearing it, but by feeling it. And so here's a little secret for entrepreneurs. When ordinary man finds an excuse, an entrepreneur finds a way. He uses creativity to find a solution, a remedy, or a solution to the problem. And so by the time I was 35 years old, I visited all 50 states. That was on my checklist, on my bucket list. Remember, life is short. Go after what you're doing. And I'm not just here to say what I'm doing. I'm here to say this is stuff that you can do too. Absolutely. Everyone is so capable of doing things like that. I had a wise entrepreneur mentor tell me once that you need to be willing to change. And that's just hard for me because change is hard for anybody, right? But he told me, and Jack Dixon, I've never met him, but I would study him. I would research him. But he would say that if you focus on results, you're really not going to change. But if you focus on change, you're going to get results. I remember when I ran the 250-mile run. A good buddy of mine, Travis, in the back, helped run with me part of the way. I remember thinking, oh my goodness, 250 miles? I was so overwhelmed with the results. But if we focus on the little changes along the way, okay, let's just do 5 miles here, take a break, then you're going to create results. The same thing with your academics, right? Focus on change, and then you'll get results. And so I wanted to set change in my life. I wanted to go out and set a change in the world. I was 14 years old. I wanted to be an Eagle Scout, and I had to do a service project. And so I went out and raised money to buy hearing aids for someone that's like me, for someone that can't afford them. And hearing aids are very expensive. And so I'll never forget the day I was able to raise the money. I brought him into this office, and I gave him his new set of hearing aids. And I wish, it's hard to explain what it's like, but he just started to cry because he had no resources, no means, no money, no anything. And the change that was wrought in his life brought a change to mine. And I was thinking, you know what? That is what I want to do. That is what I want to do with my life. And I bet there's a time in your life where you had that aha moment, that awakening. You're like, you know what? I feel passionate about that. That's what I want to do. But I knew that in order to help more people like Robert, my friend, I needed to have a really good mentor in that field. So I joined a company called Starkey, the Starkey Hearing Foundation. They're based back in Minnesota. And for 10 years, I was their public relations director. And I was able to travel the world, and I was able to learn how to do the fundraising side of it. I was able to do the philanthropy side of it, the administrative side, the operative side, just trying to learn everything I could so that someday I could do this on my own. And helping little kids like that, it was just a soft spot. These right here, you guys, are my acorns. These are my acorns. I love them so much. They're my drive. They're my motivational factor. They keep me going. And so when my grandmother passed away, I felt like, you know what, this is the time for me to venture out. And thanks to Starkey Hearing Foundation, they taught me so much about what I wanted to do to take it to the next level. And so I started this charity called the Osmond Hearing Fund in honor of my grandmother. And just real quickly, my grandmother was also an amazing entrepreneur. You would appreciate this story. When her two older boys were born deaf, one of them lives here in Ephraim. He's a mailman, retired. But there was no resources at that time. So my grandmother, instead of just sitting around waiting for something to happen, she started a charity called the Osmond Foundation, primarily set up to help the hearing and the hearing impaired. And that charity grew, and it's now known today, you might have heard of it, the Children's Miracle Network. If you go to Walmart, right down the street, you'll see a little umbrella into the Children's Miracle or Children's Hospital. My grandmother helped get that started. Again, a great entrepreneur, but her main drive was to help the deaf children. And so when she passed away, I was her favorite grandchild, right? And in honor of my grandmother, I started this charity to help continue her legacy and her dream, to help more deaf children. And so that's what I do now. I collect hearing aids. Love hearing aids. These are also my acorns. And I take them, I refurbish them with great partners, and then I help more people with hearing aids. And I love that. I helped start an anti-bullying campaign. I was bullied when I was a young boy because of my hearing aids. I used to have the big bulky ones with the wide cords coming out, a big box on my belt. Thank goodness technology is a lot better today than it was then. But being able to pay it forward, that was my drive. That's what kept me going as an entrepreneur. And I want to share this with you. I've seen this probably 5,000 times, but you'll appreciate this. This is a little boy in India. It's hard to explain what it's like when you hear for your very first time. And this little boy right here is I think he's about 5 years old. And watch his face as he lights up like a Christmas tree. Oh. Isn't that cute? That little boy changed my life. His mom came up to me with tears in her eyes, and she said this, and I think this is something that every entrepreneur should apply into his or her life. And she said this. But first of all, she asked if I could take this little boy back home to America. Not because she didn't love him, but all the more. She now knew that because he could hear, it had so much opportunity, especially in a country where we had the free enterprise, the land of opportunity. She wanted her boy to have a better opportunity in life. And although I wanted to take that cute little boy with me, I couldn't. But she said this, and I want you guys to write this down if you have a piece of paper, but she said, I hope you never measure your life by the days you have lived, but by the smiles you leave behind. That's what we do as entrepreneurs, you guys, in whatever field it is. You want to do it so that it's not only building your life, right, whatever your goal is, but it's also leaving, I like to call it, better hearing smiles behind. So I always keep that in mind. I went on, and I was loving this so much, I decided I want to expand this. So I went to England, and I started a charity in England. And now we're helping more kids over there. I don't think you can see it very well. But what we do there is we sponsor deaf children to play music. If they have a passion for the violin, the piano, the organ, the tuba, whatever that is, we sponsor that child with an instrument, a music lesson, and it's fun. Remember how life is short, play hard? I feel like we're having fun now. I went on, I started an event production company. I wrote a book, like Alan said. But all these things you guys can do too. The sky is the limit. And when an entrepreneur says that when he admits that he fails, it gives us permission to do the same. Do you realize that? Do you understand that? It's okay to to make a mistake or make a poor financial decision because we learn from it and we become better. And so some of the things I've learned to share with you is J. Willard Marriott. He sits on our board for the Children's Miracle Network. And I love this guy, a true entrepreneur in every sense of the word. He, at one point in his life, was like you. He was just like you and me. Still trying to figure out what to do in life, right? He found a passion in hospitality, hotels, and he said, you know what, I'm not smarter than anybody here in this room. I just saw an opportunity, and I took it. I just grabbed it. And he's a very successful businessman today. I think, in other words, he's also saying that he surrounds himself with people that are smarter and better than himself. And that's also another reason why he's become a great entrepreneur. And I would like to do the same thing. If you see that opportunity, take it. It may be a risk, but is it worth the risk? You have to obviously weigh that out. You're here right now, you're going to school. Why? Because you're motivated. You're motivated to get a degree, get an education, right? But what keeps you going when that motivation dies? It's habits. Good, healthy, strong habits. There could be bad habits too. Either one keeps you going, right? It just tells you into different directions. But the one thing that really gets you there is our failures. I'm telling you, I know that may sound a little different or not to some of you guys, but the more we fail, the more we succeed. I hate to say it like that. I've failed at some businesses that I've started, but I learn from them, I get back on my feet, and I keep going. I keep going. I was the field goal kicker in my high school team, and one of the things I was so scared about was not being able to hear the quarterback say hike, right? So I can go kick the ball. And I remember this is the same year that I was voted the shyest kid in high school, right? I was very shy, I didn't get myself out there very much, and I was just very scared to make a mistake or say something wrong or do something wrong like that, right? But the cool thing about it is you can take those and you can turn it into something so positive. For example, when I'm in the stadium and we're down by 2 points, I got to make a field goal to win the game. And if I don't make it, my girlfriend doesn't talk to me, my parents don't talk to me, nobody talks to me. But if I make it, I'm the champ, right? And I remember so many times going out there, and everybody's screaming, yelling, and I thought, wait, why don't I just turn my hearing aids off? And it was the coolest thing. I get out there, and it was so loud, but I was able to turn my hearing aids off, and I was able to focus and laser in on everything. I didn't have any distractions, and I was able to make a lot of the field goals. I didn't make all of them, but I made a bunch of them. But I wasn't afraid to make that mistake. But the biggest mistake you could ever make is being too afraid to make one. And the difference between who you are and what you want to be is what you do. And not just what you do, but what you do with when we make a mistake. Do we get back up? Do we get back on the station wagon, go all the way back home on that miserable drive? Or do we stay positive and say, all right, one door closed, there's going to be another door that's going to open, right? However, there are some, when I talk about a lot of the fun things that could happen, there's a lot of downside to it. I mean, just be a little vulnerable and tell you some of the risks that you might be taking. You're not always going to be your own boss. But the only way you're your own boss is your title. You're the CEO or the founder or whatever that looks like. I've learned that you have a wonderful team, your marketing team, the manufacturing team, the HR team. In a way, you surrounded yourself with people that are smarter and better than you. Make them your boss, right? There's nothing wrong with that, because that keeps the engine going. A hidden support team is critical to help carry the huge weight on your shoulders. And what I mean by that is, like I said, you have the intern team, you've got your production team, you've got your marketing team and all that, but it's critical to have family and friends. They're right there behind you too, because sometimes when things aren't going quite well, you got to go home to a nice cushion, your family and friends that can help you along with that. There's a really good chance, in fact, I bet you 100% guarantee there will be someone that won't like you when you become an entrepreneur. Why? Because you're either competing against them, or you come up with a product or a service or something that upsets the competitor, right? So I don't always know the secret to success, but I know the key to failure, and that is trying to please everybody. You can't, right? Follow your heart, follow your passion, but just know that there's going to be people that are going to be upset with you and won't like you, but that's okay. It's totally okay. Perception matters. I've had days in the office where our bottom line did not quite turn out the way we were hoping, right? We didn't make as many sales this month. But what I mean by perception is you still got to go in the office with a smile on your face because your team is relying on you, right? If you go in there with a positive attitude like my grandpa, all the little boys were looking up to grandpa, right? But he went in there with a smile on his face and said, all right, guys, we're going to go Disneyland, right? Even though it didn't quite work out. Have a good perception. And of course, taking risks. There's always going to be risk involved. We all know that. That's, I think, the main definition of an entrepreneurship. But we need to remember that. But we never know how high we are, you guys, until we're called to rise. And if we're true to plan, meaning we get back in the saddle after every time we fail and fall and make mistakes, which is perfectly normal, then your statues will touch the sky. You will feel like you can do anything you want to do. I believe that with all my heart. So with that, I'm proud of you guys for being here, going to school, investing your time and your investment into getting a good education, because that's the best investment you can ever make. But with that, question and answers. You guys have any questions you'd like to ask? Yeah.
How heavy was Warren Buffett's car?
Okay, the question is, how big is Warren Buffett?
How heavy was it?
How heavy? It was actually pretty heavy. It was. He wouldn't let me open it. I wanted to. But it was thick. It was like that big. But yeah, really nice guy. You would never know, but just a genius. Just really, really good guy. Very, very charitable. He's a philanthropist. He gives. And that's another thing. We build our income by what we get, but we build our lives by what we give. And he does that very well. Any other questions? Yeah.
Once you decide on who you want to be a mentor, how do you go about meeting them and making connections with them?
Once you know, okay, the question was, how do you go about picking your mentors? Or how do you go picking entrepreneurs that are like you? Is that correct? For me, I had to find out who I was first. I had to find out what my acorns were. And once I knew what I wanted, then that helped me go after other mentors that are doing what I want to do. Like Luke Rigno, the Incredible Hulk. I met him at an event and became good friends with him. But he shared the same values, the same morals of what I went through, and the same passion, same hobbies, if you will. For me, my hearing loss, right? I needed someone that understood that for me. It may be different for everybody because everybody has a different background, right? But find out what you want. Find out what your acorns are, and then find someone that's doing a similar thing that they can help you take you to the next level. And then when you meet with them, though, guys, don't be afraid to ask them questions. They like that, especially stroking their ego a little bit. Make them feel like the hero. And they are. They work hard. They work hard to be where they are today. Great question. Any other question? Alan?
Talk a little bit about anything on the horizon or your next adventure, what you'd like to do next.
I'm sorry, Alan.
What would you like to do next?
What would I like to do next? That's a great question. I love the hearing aspect of it. But I would love to set up another charity, maybe in another country, help more people like that. You got to start somewhere, right? I've done it in England now, but I would love to spread. I would love to spread that to help even more people, more deaf children, if you will. Probably what that would be right there. Yeah.
Have you ever actually been uncomfortable in silence?
And the question is, have I ever been comfortable?
Uncomfortable in silence.
In silence. The question is, have I ever been uncomfortable in silence?
Yes.
And the question is, the answer to that is no. I love being in my own silent corner. I know sign language. Any of you know sign? Yeah, quite a few. Okay, kind of cool. You know sign? It's fun. I live in the deaf world, but I also live in the hearing world. Kind of nice to be in both. But no, you got to find what you're comfortable in. I'm comfortable in both. Some deaf people are not. They'd rather prefer to be in the deaf world and not the hearing world. But for me, I was more comfortable in the deaf world at one point because I was very ashamed of my deaf accent. But once I accepted that, like, I don't sound too bad. I apologize if you have a hard time understanding me because of my accent. But it's who I am. I love who I am. I didn't for a long time. But once I've accepted that, then other people will accept you for who you are as well. Any other question? Travis, I know you have a question. Travis is one of the guys that ran with me. Just out of curiosity, who's run a 5K? Who's ever run a 10? Keep your hands up. Who's run a 10K? How about a marathon? Run a marathon? Awesome. So, just to be honest with you, I'm not a runner. I'm really not. But I saw an opportunity where, for my charity, I wanted to raise awareness. And I also I found that there were 25 deaf children in St. George that needed new hearing aids. So I thought, well, I'll go out there and raise some awareness, try to raise the money to help these 25 kids. Again, these are kids that are like me, right? They have a profound hearing loss. And so I did. I ran from right here in Ephraim, Snow College, all the way down there. And, you know, remind me to never do that again. But why would I do that? They're my acorns. If you knew what your acorns were, you would do the same thing. You would do whatever it took because you love them so much. You're so passionate about it. I'm not even going to tell you how many toenails I lost or how many blisters I had. But that's not the point. The point was that those kids were worth it for me. And Travis ran 30 miles with me one day, and it hurt, doesn't it? But doing that, run an average of 40 miles a day. The hardest part was getting up every morning. And after you ran a marathon, you're sore, right? But again, I'm not saying I'm a runner, because I haven't gone running since. Really. I've been in a coma for quite a while. But again, find your acorn. And then once you find them, live for it. Dream for it. And do whatever it takes. And those things will make you happy. It'll make you not have to just survive, but to thrive. And not to make your life an intermission, but a mission. You have purpose. You have a gift. And you all have that, you guys. You need to share that gift, develop it, and go after it. Okay? Any other questions? All right. Thank you, guys. Go Badgers. You guys are awesome.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that, Justin. Thank you very much. So we'll see you all next Wednesday, our special final class for Entrepreneurship Seminar.